Good morning, everybody. Roger Hurd, Kim Jackson, Dave Brayman. How are you? It is awesome to be here on another lovely, absolutely gorgeous Thursday morning here in Western Colorado. It is perfect out here. The weather is starting to cool off. It's getting down into the 50s at night. It's still, high 80s, low 90s, but it's definitely on a downhill slide. I'm excited. Scott Copeland, Sawyer Llewellyn, what's going down? It is good to be here. No real plans on what to talk about today, so you guys fire off the questions. Big race this weekend. I don't know about big. Race this weekend with Weeby Racing. We're heading out to Grand Junction to do some desert racing out in the North Desert. I guess it's not the North Desert, but it's a rad place. It's gonna be fast. Hoos Islander, Sadie Smith, Mike Bernardo, Michael James Daniel. What's going on? Coming in from Flagstaff. Bernardo, I look forward to seeing you this weekend. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be dusty. Countershock's perfectly flat there in Kansas. I'm sure it is. Ryan Nelson coming back to Colorado this weekend. Right on. Sorry I'm not going to be around. I would love to hang out with you guys, but we'll be dirt bike racing, which is going to be cool. We got the kids 125 all built. He helped me do that. We got that done 2 nights ago. Last night we were down here till almost 10 getting a top end, and another friend of my kids' friends, YZ250, get him ready. Zach Farkash, what's going on? Bryce Davis, what's going down? Bryce, you in for the Death March? Speaking of Death Marches, guys, next weekend is the Death March. Saturday. All day Saturday and into Saturday night. It's going to be good. Kim Jackson says she loves the high country switchbacks at the 18-minute mark in the last vid. Reminds you of northern Idaho. It is very much like northern Idaho and Washington up there. We don't have a lot of places like that in Colorado. I mean, Colorado's got a lot of big, high mountain stuff, but that switchbacky and that like dense greenness is not a lot in Colorado, and that place is super cool. It's an amazing trail, pretty tough one, but super cool. Rural Delinquent, what's going down? Zach, how are you, my man? Jeff Villanucci, dude, that's a rad last name, Jeff. I like it. Thank you very much. We got all the bikes ready, I think. Going to do a shakedown ride for Ewan on the 125. He's going to make sure everything's good. We just, like I said, just put a crank and everything, new bearings. Had the cases welded because he didn't really break the case. Someone had already time-serted the drain plug, and then it broke a piece out, because it's like a boss. On that bike, it's a boss coming down out of the motor. It broke off right before the bike blew up. So had our good friends at Western Slope Welding weld it. Did an amazing job at that. And then my good buddy Gary machined it. Put a flat surface, drilled and tapped. It's all good. Joe Smith. Oh, I'm glad you love it. He says, thank you for the R-Enduro advice. Love it. That's great. I love that thing. I think it actually works really good. Right on, Bryce. Good to see you. He says, I'm planning on it. Going to try to drag a buddy along. Sounds good. Mike Kellogg is going to be there too from the Front Range. Giovanni Coy Remolta, shout out, what's happening? Ethan List coming in from Silverthorne. It's already getting cold in the mornings. That's good. That's my favorite time of year. Fall, honestly, it's like a bittersweet, but it is my favorite time of year in Colorado. Anyway, to see a track map for this weekend's race in GJ. Herlo, no. It's they don't release the map beforehand because it's a hair scramble, and the whole idea is that you don't know. We do get a practice lap if you want to pay for it, but so no track map now, at least. I'm sure someone will keep track of it on their phone or whatever for afterwards. West Eats, what's going on? Let's see, Zach says got the bearings order, triple, sweet, right on. Cool, man. I'm excited. We're gonna do a front end swap on Zach's bike. He's got a 89 CR250, and we're gonna be putting modern forks and front end on it. It's gonna be good. That's gonna be actually super good because those old bikes are neat. The motors are really, really good. Suspension, not so much. So, what questions do you guys have? What things you want to hear about? Cam Flanders, dude, been in Nemo, South Dakota, now in White Sulphur Springs, Montana. Got any tips on trails here? Nemo Gas Ranch is the business. No, I don't have any information about White Sulphur Springs, Montana. I've never been there. But Nemo is rad. I love it. Tony Andrews, what's going down? Tony, I will get you the track. Actually, Tony, you email me, because not that Jeremy did not email me. I don't think I didn't see it. Email me and I will get you the tracks for the Death March. Wes Dietz, you should be coming to the Death March next weekend. So both of you guys should be. Jim Nash, what is happening, my tiny-legged friend? Dan Teets, congratulations on the new bike. I'm so excited. By the way, guys, like I said, Death March next weekend. I've had a bunch of people asking about it. Looks like there theoretically might be a bunch of people coming, but we'll see. Quick rundown on what that is, because people just are still learning about it. It's the 16th or 17th year of this thing that we call the Death March. It is not what Wes is asking about, which is the Fuzzy Bunny Rainbow Unicorn March. It's a Death March. You are self-supported. If you crash, if you get hurt, if you break a bike, you are on your own. Now, obviously, if someone gets really hurt, we'll take care of you. But if little stuff, man, you're on your own. We're going to keep going. So you got to ride your own sweep. You got to bring enough stuff to fix your own bike. I highly recommend not having air in tires, because if you get a flat, we are absolutely leaving you. Like, that is for sure happening. And yeah, it's a whole lot of fun. It's like a almost 200-mile day. I'm going to try to make it 200 miles this year. We came in short last year, but we're going to try to do it. Sandy Smith, no, your motor is not done yet. It is here, but it is not done. We are only about a week and a half from losing Zach Sheets. He's going to be not even a week and a half. Anyway, and he is going to be going into the National Guard. So I'm going to be really, really, really busy. I have some help, I think, so that's going to be good. But unfortunately, the production level is probably going to slow down, both on videos and on mechanicking. So we'll see. We're going to crack on and do what we can. So let's see. Moto Master almost got enough coffee. Speaking of coffee, by the way, here, for a quick interaction, what kind of coffee are you guys drinking? And I'm not like, well, yeah, how do you drink it and what kind of coffee? I currently am drinking the Courthouse Blend from our local coffee roasters, Summer Run Coffee Roasters, and I drink it black as night and strong. Let's see. Zach Farkash, it's going to be a good upgrade. Steve Stanton, I'm looking to buying a 300 two-stroke. Good boy. Torn between buying a KTM Husky, but all the TBI scares me if there's issues. I'm a DIY minded. Love wrenching and learning my own machines, so that leaves me with older KTM Husky. Older KTM Husky or a Beta Shirka Reju. Would you buy a low hour 17-year-old? So, Steve, I don't know what kind of rider you are. It sounds like you're probably pretty good. Stay away from the X-Trainer unless you are a brand new beginner rider. And the reason I say that is because the suspension. The motor on that bike is good. Everything else is good. The fit and finish is good. It's a great bike. But the suspension is lacking, like seriously lacking in stock form. So you can spend a whole bunch of money and make it good. You can revalve what's on there, and that's not too terrible much money. But to really fix it, you got to buy all new parts, new forks, new shock, and it gets really expensive. So stay away from the X-Trainer, in my opinion. And then the Beta is of all the other ones you've said on the new world. Like if you're going to buy a new bike, like a 20 or newer, buy a Beta. They're absolutely incredible. The 300RR race or RR normal RR is amazing. I like the race because you get a little bit better suspension, and they delete the oil injection, which personally I like. Sounds like you are kind of like me. The new stuff scares you. So oil injection, although that is not new, it's from the 70s. But I like premixing gas. So if you're gonna go new, buy a Beta. And if you're down with it, I would absolutely buy a 17, 18, or 19 KTM Husky. The 19, you have to buy a TX or an XC up to 19 to get carburetor. In 18, you could buy a W, but you could either get a W TPI or a W carbed. And then in 17, it's good. But past that, you go backwards to the old motor, which is a fine motor, but it just doesn't have the best starter on it. So, and it's not counterbalanced. So, like, if you're trying to get the best that you can, right now, it's that 17, 18 sweet spot on the W's, and then 17, 18, 19 on the XCs. So, you get to make that decision. Sorry, but those are all good. And if you want to buy a new bike, just go buy a Beta, and they're rad. Countershocks. Does anyone run helmet communication? No. No helmet communication. No radios. Although I probably actually will charge my radios up for it, and there'll be a couple people that have radios, but it's not. It's basically you're on your own. It's just you don't. I mean, you want to partner up, and we try to stay together kind of as a group. But if people start falling back and going too slow, we'd leave them. Cup of Black Magic hand watching my favorite channel. Thanks, Brent Stone. I appreciate it. Tom the Battle Axe. It has been a while. How are you? I'm doing well. Things are good. It's craziness here. This is a great issue, but I would still go. Yeah, West Eats has TPI, and he has had no issues. And a lot of people have had no issues. A lot of people have had issues. But I don't know. I'm just not a fan of TPI. Obviously, KTM isn't either. They went away from it. But I would stay away from. The other thing is I'd stay away from used TPIs, because if people didn't warm them up correctly, and I'm not going deep into that rabbit hole of why you warm them up, you should warm up every bike. The TPIs are even more sensitive to it. So, buying a used one, you could be buying one with a scratched cylinder, and they might not even know it. So, you make that decision. But the TBI is so much better. Tom Balax, I don't like coffee, but if I do, it's vanilla blend black. Nice. Roger Hurd, we can figure something out with some mousses for the TW. I would actually love to try it. Sweet Bloom Home Blend is a cappuccino. Right on, Bryce Davis. Only way to drink coffee is black. I agree. Who's Islander? 100%. Black is the only way. I love it. Folgers today. I like a little coffee with my sugar. I love it. Michael Van de Sluis, thank you for the recommendation on the front tires. X31 is amazing. I agree. It is. Hello, Dirt. Jared, how long will Zach... It's Z-A-C-H. According to his handlebar. Yeah, I know. Sorry, that's awesome. How long will he be gone? Probably about 6 months. And then maybe a really long time, because he might be deployed to Iraq or somewhere. I don't know. Jim Nash, true on the X-Trainer, 100%. Hello, Dirt. Do you think the front is you think the back is good, but it's not? I mean, it's okay, but it's not good, especially if you upgrade it. You'll see. Roy Moline, Deathwish. Heck yeah, buddy. Good morning from the high country. Roy, I'm sure it is nice getting nice and cool up there. I swear one of these days I want to come ride with you up there, because I just want to. So you considered low hours on a bike? Tom Balax. Oh, what do I consider? Well, low hours would be anything like under 50, like really low hours. I would buy like a KTM 300 if it's been taken care of, and of course that's sometimes hard to tell, but if it's been taken care of, I'd buy a KTM 300 with 200 hours on it, like 300 hours on it, if you get it for the right price. Because, I mean, as you get up 300 and 400 hours, you're looking at needing a crank, just for, just to maintenance wise. And if you're good for the right price, then do it, because why not? I mean, put a freaking crank in. It's awesome. My old bike has 600 hours on it, and it's great. I mean, it's a fine motorcycle. Glenn Collins, are Thursday night rides open to this Durango rider? Heck yeah, Thursday night rides are open to anyone. You just come on up. This Thursday, tonight, is not going to be much of a ride. We're going to go shake down Ewan's 125 and make sure it's good and have the boys do some laps out in the desert, but that's about it. Nate, good. I didn't want to hear anyone's shit anyway. I love it. So Ethan List backed out on the 24 TE 300 and decided to go with a 23 Beta race. You can't go wrong with Beta. I agree. The Beta is good. Liz Silva, how's it going? But I agree that you're right. The Beta is good, but I'm telling you, man, I've ridden them, and I am afraid of some of the tech and the whatever on the TBI bikes, just all that no Kickstarter, blah, 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 all that stuff. But, man, my bike is good. It's the easiest bike I've ever ridden, ever. Jay Wild, what's happening? There's your bike right there. All we got to do is put the seat back on it, and you are good to go. It rips. It runs so good. Two Dogs Full at home drinking Maxwell House from a Bun coffee maker. I like it. My 22 FE 350. That does not make sense. You got a 22 FE 350, but you're using a Bun coffee maker at Maxwell House. But hey, I'm down. So, quick note on coffee. Cheap coffee is fine as long as you make it strong enough. The problem with like gas station coffee and hotel coffee and all that crap is they don't put enough coffee in with the water. It's not so much the quality of the beans, it's the fact they don't put enough coffee in it, and it's just watery junk. 22 FE 350 is out of friends getting fork seals and bushing, so I'm on my 09 TE 250, nice, which looks like white and red Huskies in your shop. Yeah. Those things suck. I mean, they're fine motorcycles when they're working, but man, good luck finding parts when something breaks that's specific to it. Fork seals are fine. Zach Farkash, the Death March is a heck of a thing. Motomaster just raced my 23 XCW. Its first real hair scramble since getting it stock. For it does not hold up to speed for B-class prospect. Did great on the only rock pile. Suspension suggestions. Motomaster, let me know. We can help you out, or any TBT shop can make that thing absolutely brilliant. If you watch one of my last videos, it shows you exactly what we do to the front forks, and then the back we just revalve and put a bladder kit in it. But like, yeah, because my XCW, I have it's an 18, so the only difference is it's got a carburetor and it rips going fast. It's good. Is the JD Jet Kit worth it on my 125 XC at Ohio? Nah. Honestly, Shane, the best thing you can do to that 22 125 is put a 36 millimeter key in. Excuse me. I did that on my 125 XC, and between that and an RK Tech head, it was the best thing I ever did. It made that bike absolutely brilliant. Conspiracy T, help me. I just changed oil, coolant, air filter, and oil filter on my KX250F, and she don't want to start up. Huh. That's weird. It could be, a lot of times, honestly, guys will, when they oil an air filter, it's like heavy oil, which is good, keeps the dirt out, but they won't start because of that. Like, it's too much fumes. It's like basically running way too rich. So try holding it wide open and give her a stab. That's probably still a Kickstarter in the 016 250. I don't know. Hold it wide open and kick it, because that might be good. I like my sugar with coffee and cream. Yes, Matt Simpson. Thank you for coming in with the Beastie Boys reference. James Narkill, brewing the Folgers. I like it. And Steve, agree. Only one. We will have a window. Late September hunting season is upon. I know, Roy. I want to figure it out, because we're hunting this year too. Both my younger boy and I drew elk tags, or first rifle, so like soon. I gotta get out and do some scouting. Finally got some rain here in Vancouver Island, riding tomorrow. Nice. That's sad that it's been 6 weeks, but I'm glad you're riding. Bulletproof Coffee, Glenn Collins, right on. Oh no, Zach said the UPS lost his front wheel. That sucks. Hopefully they find it. It's large. Help me, I just changed. Conspiracy, I just answered that question. I don't know. JD kits are 100% worth it, Shane. Their needles, I can never replicate. Tons of battle. So yeah, Shane, Tom is right. The JD kit works, especially on the Mikuni, but honestly, the 36 Kian works better. Black cold brew coffee this morning. It's in San Diego, right on. I will be in San Diego way sooner than I would have thought, because we're coming down to race 1,000. I'm excited about that. Counter shock from study. You are starting to sound like Brady. By the way, Nate, we need to talk about Baja 1000 possible sponsorship and stuff. So, yeah, we'll talk. So, if you had to keep a bike forever and keep rebuilding it, make, model, year, what bike would it be? Steve, honestly, if I had to keep big bike, XR650. I'll never, ever, ever sell my XR. I will rebuild that thing until I'll have people make parts for me after I can't get parts. So there's that. And so if I could only have one motorcycle the rest of my life, it would be that. If I could have two and like have a small bike and that bike, it would probably be a YZ250. Honestly, I have to kickstart them. That kind of sucks, but I know for a fact that there will be parts for it, and I know that it works really good. Steve Stanton, Colombian beans, AeroPress like it. Yes, Rich Pierce, coffee does need to pour like syrup. Yeah, Max TA 100% is a crazy name. On your last ride on Alpine Trail, you mentioned your new pegs. Can you tell me the advantage in case I stop by today and order some from my beta? So those pegs, the Carapax foot pegs, they're just rad. So they big open design. They're stainless steel. Hang on, I'll grab a pair. There we go. These are the stock placement foot pegs, and they're stainless, a little heavy, but you can see they have taken a ton of beating. I even bent that one tooth out on this one, and no breakage, no bending, like no real bending, and they're amazing. So lots of grip, which is awesome. Even on these, they have not actually torn my boots up, because I think the reason, I've been trying to figure that out, the reason they're not tearing my boots up is while these are sharp, they're long, like they're flat across like that, so they're not points. So they distribute the weight a little bit better. They're not tearing the crap out of boots. I mean, obviously I can see that, but it's not that bad. So anyway, big fan of these, and the ones I'm running now are 5 down and 5 back. So that helps me put a little more weight on the back tire, and then opens up the cockpit a little bit. I'm not very big, but like anyway, so I love them. Love them, love them, love them. They're amazing. And honestly, if you want to order them, Max, go to First Track Motorsports. Oh, here, I'll write it in here. It's firsttrackmoto.com/highlandscycles. And you can get them from there. Now, someone mentioned earlier, like, they're in Canada, they charge all this money for shipping. And I'm pretty sure that so here's the deal. If you use that link and go there, that gets you into our special page, which gets everything discounted. Then you have to use the code Highland Cycles, Highland-Cycles. It says it right there at the top of the page when you check out, to then get free shipping, I'm pretty sure. So let me know if you've tried it or but I'm pretty sure you get free shipping if you use that code, but you got to use the code. So, yeah. Glenn Collins asked, do I run a flywheel weight? Yes, I run a clutch weight, and I run the 340 gram from Mitigator. Also got from Ben Nicholson up in Canada. Yeah, and it's great. Clutch weights have less effect, so you got to run a heavier one to feel it on the clutch, because it's not directly on the crank. It is still spinning mass. It still does basically the same thing, but a true flywheel weight, you can feel it with less weight. So anyway. But I don't know that anybody makes a flywheel weight or weighted flywheel for the new bikes yet. So I'm running that one, and it works great. Do you have a go-to handlebar bend? Yes. I'm 5'10" and a half ish, so we're right about the same. beta seemed very low. I think I'm trying to rent off Fat Bar, RC High Bid. Ian, so obviously bars are a very personal thing. I run Woods Highs on everything that I own and have for over a decade, and I love them. Having overheating problem with the 18 YZ450F, Matthew Coolidge. Any recommendations? Check your water pump, make sure it's moving stuff. Check everything, make sure nothing's clogged. And then check the running conditions, like make sure it's not too lean. Four strokes are already very hot running, and then if they run lean, they get hot even faster. So check all that, like make sure you don't have any air leaks or any of that stuff. But I would start with the cooling system, take the cap off, fire it up, and like make sure it's moving coolant really well. If it's doing that, then you have to dig into probably the lean. Dirt does not clog up in those foot pegs either. Correct, Liz Silva. Dirt and snow. Although someone's like, so there's some guy was like, those things are gonna clog up with mud and they suck because of this rim in here. I mean, he just kept going on. I don't know who it is. Someone on the internet. And I mean, maybe more than like the Raptor ones are just a single thing. And so maybe they do. But in my amount of mud and my amount of snow, which I have ridden these things in, they've been brilliant. They clear just fine. So I don't know what that guy's talking about. Maybe different kind of mud or whatever. Steve Stanton, ever try steg pegs? I've ridden a couple bikes with them. I don't like them, but I also didn't give it a fair shake. I didn't ride it long enough to like get used to it, but I did not like, I felt like when I squeezed the bike, I felt locked into a position that I couldn't get out of. I did really like them in whoops because you can like lock in and pull back and keep the front end high. So that was actually super cool. And if that's what you're doing most of, I guess they're probably pretty rad. But personally, I wasn't a fan. I do know quite a few people that love them, though. So you said a bunch of trails were closed out near Montrose. There's still plenty open to make it worth coming to ride there. Amy Warrington, yes. So all of our desert is open all year. Both Dry Creek, Peach Valley, all that is open and awesome all year. The trails that close on Labor Day or just after Labor Day are on the plateau, and it's about half of them, but there's still definitely plenty of trails to ride up there. The thing is that while some of those trails are open and legal to ride, I think up to like November something, it just depends basically till snow. It is hunting season now. Like archery starts, let me know, someone who's an archer, probably like now or next week. I mean, like right away, right? Archery starts right away. And so you will be dealing with hunters, and it's, yeah, I just don't do it. Like I also am a hunter. I don't want to upset anybody who's waited a long time to get a tag. And it's so archers generally don't care. Those guys go so far deep into the woods. They don't care about motorcyclists. But the muzzle loaders and things like that are also early season. So I don't go up there. After Labor Day, I just don't go to the plateau. I just start riding the desert. But there's lots and lots and lots of desert single track to ride. It's amazing. Scott Phillips, what's happening? Tony Borian, is the red knob on the throttle body on the W an actual idle adjust and not just, yes, Anthony. The red knob is idle adjust. The yellow knob up underneath the bottom is the bypass on like the TPI. Scott Schwager, morning all from hot and sunny Arizona. Right on. I run Woods High 510 Steve Stanton. There you go. I love Woods High, by the way. How did TSP change the power curve? More bottom? Question mark. Chad Dwyer. The TSP, so first of all, if you own a TBI bike or a TPI, the nice thing about the TBI is it's even more simple setup. But, you need to get the ECU tuned. The head is also awesome. It's kind of like the icing on the cake that makes it really, really good. But you badly need that tune because especially on I would say especially the TBIs. The TBI fuel mapping isn't that great. It's okay. It's rich on the bottom. It's kind of lean on top. It's just not perfect. So Chad asked how the TSP. What it did is in the white map, which for me is a hard enduro map. It's a little more like aggressive hard enduro, but it's definitely still hard enduro. It makes way more low end, and it makes it at low throttle openings. They got the dyno chart on their website. It's way more power at low throttle openings. Now, when you go wide open, the two curves, the stock curve and the other one, join relatively quickly and then stay together. I think the TSP makes a little more peak horsepower because of the head and stuff, but like it's that low throttle opening where it really makes a huge difference. So as you're just like trying to through the woods, it's just got more power down there, and it just is incredibly easy to ride. So like it makes it more linear. It definitely gives it more bottom. The thing will not stall. Like you can count the RPM and it won't stall. It's absolutely incredible. But then, so did that. And then the green map, same kind of bonus, but with a much more aggressive curve. So it's worth every penny. Looking for the new shop build out. Can't wait to hear your feedback. Cool shit coming your way. Yeah, Rich Noble, I'm excited. I can't wait to do the shop build out either. It's going to be a little bit before we get too much going on in there because I just am super busy. I got this race this weekend, and in like 2 weeks we have another race with Weeby, which is like, yeah, that's a short turnaround for Weeby. So it's anyway, lots going on. So, and I got a lot of moving of things to do in that garage to get to it. But I'm excited. Also, guys, quick, I got to shout out to Rocky Mountain ATV MC. Please, please, please use our link. It doesn't cost you any more money. You still get to save all the money with Rocky Mountain. You don't have to buy tough stuff. They have OEM parts. They have everything you can imagine for a motorcycle world. And they're incredible, and they are helping me out. It is literally changing my life. So thank you all who have used that link. You cannot bookmark it and then go back to it 3 weeks later like a bookmark, because it takes my little reference off of it when it goes into it's just a computer thing. It's not them. It's just anyway. So if you use it, just go to one of the YouTube videos, click the link, and it is awesome. It's in the description of this video. It makes a big difference. I cannot thank Rocky Mountain ATV MC enough. And I really like the company. I've dug deeper into the company, and they're incredible. Like, so they were started privately by a guy and his family, and then instead of going public, they sold the company to the employees. So it's employee owned. It's an American company. I've had this argument with people. It's all Chinese, and the tough stuff is mostly Chinese, but actually they prototype all of it and they make it in-house for a long time until they hit a certain like threshold of units, and then they have to outsource it because they just can't produce it. But here's the deal. Sadly, lots of things are made in China. And yes, I think that you should avoid those things if you can. But here's the deal. The motorcycle sport is crazy expensive, and it's just getting more and more expensive. And the more boutique brands that are made in Japan or US or Europe or whatever are having to raise their prices. I'm not bagging on them. They're having to raise their prices. Things are getting expensive. And if you can afford that, keep buying it. And you can buy that from Rocky Mountain too. Like, you can buy all that stuff from Rocky Mountain also. But if the difference between you riding and not riding is the $60 difference in tire price, buy the cheaper tire. It came from China. I get it. But at least you're riding, and at least that person is riding. So don't bag on people who are running less expensive stuff, because it gets them out and gets them riding. And riding is better than not riding, even if the part came from the communist China. The other thing is, there are a whole bunch of Americans working at Rocky Mountain, and buying that stuff supports them. So it's a weird thing that we live in. I don't love it, but there you go. Matthew Coolidge, yeah, get a backfire during the ride. You probably haven't air leak, Matthew, on your 450. Check where your header bolts to the head, and then anything around like the intake. If you're buying a used bike, would small dents in bottom of frame be a deal breaker? No, it would not be at all. It's because it's easy to have happen, especially with all the plastic skid plates, which I run. I like, but plastic skid plates allow for that. Did you ever get your cone valves to test? No, Tom, I never did. I never got any cone valves. Cone valves, like the cone valve setup in the air fork is really good. It's an inexpensive way to make the air forks work really, really, really well. But to buy a whole set of cone valve forks, to me, it's just not worth the money. I'm not good enough to tell. Rich Pierce says Archery 9-2. There you go. Christopher Aaron Glum. Sorry. How do you warm up your XC? I warm it up like a carbureted bike. So I fire it up. I'll whip the throttle, keep it running, whatever. I will let it idle longer than I would let my carbureted bike idle, just because I know it won't die. But I just warm it up like a normal bike because it's got oil in the gas. It's got tons of gas in the cold map. When it's in its warm-up map or rich map or choke map or whatever you want to call it before it's hit full temp, there's a lot of gas going in there, so it's all good. I don't, hold it wide open, do anything stupid, but yeah, just like a normal bike. Have I heard anything about the John Ross tunes? I've only ever heard that phrase a couple times, Sawyer, and the people who said it really liked it. But I really don't know much. Guessing if you throw a code with a TSP tune, then you send it back to them instead of the dealer because the dealer would overwrite the TSP tune. Scott Copland, yes, I think you are. Well, I don't know. I think the dealer could actually clear the codes without messing with the map. I'd have to ask my guys over at the dealership, but I'm pretty sure you could just clear codes. You have to have their dumb computer. We can't do it yet. Would you consider training a mechanic, TBT, suspension tech like an apprenticeship? Steve Stanton. So, I won't do that if they're then going to go out and start their own TBT. Not even if it's in a different state or whatever, because TBT has a process for that. They will train people to build up other TBT shops. So that's why I wouldn't do that. But I would definitely teach someone who is going to work here how to do that. But if they're going to start their own shop, then no, I don't do that. Travis takes care of that. Have you confirmed code clearing with battery disconnect after the last OEM flash? Yes, Scott Coppin. I have 100% confirmed that. I had a code going like crazy after it was the power valve code after I did the top end, and I didn't unhook the battery, and it moved, and I had to do my funky little thing to get the thing on there. It threw a code, and I confirmed by unhooking the battery and unhooking the ECU. Left it overnight. I don't know how long it actually took, but I left it overnight, put it back in, and it all went away. And someone asked how many hours on my bike. It's 135, 136. We're getting close. By the way, guys, subscribe if you have not yet. Make sure you give us a thumbs up. Back out of the chat, give us a thumbs up. Come back in. All that good stuff. Because coming up in like less than a month, well, no, about almost exactly a month, I'm going to be doing a year in review with the TBI. Hopefully we'll get to 150 hours. That was definitely my goal. I don't know if I'm going to do it. I got to get some riding in, but and do a full year review, what I liked, what I didn't like, all the troubles, all the ups, all the downs, all the things on the TBI. And I'm going to be taking it apart and greasing linkages and going over everything. It's going to be a long video, and it should be really cool. So make sure you stay tuned. GVN88. How many Enduro guys race 350s in your area? Lots of them. A lot of fast guys in the ECA run them. I'm still on 300, but may add 350s to the garage. A lot of guys do. They're amazing bikes. I still like two strokes better, but they are incredible. Denny's Septic Service. I know you have. I mean, I can't see who's using it, but I know people have, so thank you very much. Bikes are getting expensive. 125 is 80. Yeah, dude. Bikes are getting crazy expensive, and like I said, if you can save some money and still ride, do it, and whatever it takes. Good morning, Yum AXR. I caught you live. Glad you did. Steve Stanton, Tusk tires and parts are good. Bang for the buck. I agree. 100%. I'm really liking the tires. I've got some more tires to more tires to test. I got a cool set of Baja tires, and then for pre-running, and then I have a set to test around here. Some new stuff. Scott Phillips, cone valves are more of a motocross fork. 100%. That's the thing with cone valves. Cone valves are for guys that are going really fast, and not just like fast for their class, but like fast. And yeah, really, really good riders can tell the difference. I'm just not into it. And you got to valve them anyway. It's not like you just buy the stuff and put it on. You got to take it apart and valve it to make it good. Speaking of Chinese parts, any experience with KKE wheels? Yeah, I've done actually. I've seen a lot of them. They seem to be really, really good. You are good enough, and you will be able to tell. Trust me, it's like a paved road. I don't know, man. I've ridden some, and I didn't test them. I didn't click on them. I didn't tune them for me, but they didn't. I don't know. They didn't make that big a difference versus my very well set up stuff. Jerry, yeah, I like it. Jeremy Gifford, just ride your dirt bikes. Zach Farcash, have a great day. Bill O'Neill, good morning. Christopher Aaron, thanks you bet. What's your reliable range on the Cherbis 3.9? It's more like 3.5, I think, or 2.5, 2.9, whatever that a Cherbis tank. It's not 3.9, but I think it's closer to, because it was 2.25. I think it's a little over 3. But anyway, I don't know 100% because I haven't really done a run out test on that tank. But considering what I got out of the IMS and all that, I'm expecting, I think reliably, I would ride a 75 to 80 mile loop in the slow mountain stuff, no problem. Glenn Collins, I have Slavin's new high altitude insert and will send ECU TSP reflash with trail tune. Should I also purchase TSP alt head or just use the Slavin's insert? Glenn, I don't know. I don't know if I'm supposed to say this. I better not. Glenn, buy the TSP head. Just buy the TSP head. That's all I'll say. Buy the TSP head. It goes with the tune. They set it up. It's good. Trust me. Buy the TSP head. Is your schedule Weeby round 4, then Death March, then 5? Yes, heavy schedule, Jared. It is a crazy heavy schedule. I'm dreaming, but I'd love to come out to Montrose and ride with you and the crew. Fly in and rent a bike. Steve, let's do it, man. I got a buddy who rents bikes, and we can make it happen. Grit Motorsports rents bikes. He's got 2 300XCs, and yeah, come on out. Who's Islander 23 XC are $3K off here at the moment, so it's like $10. Oh, it's funny. If they're like they were big money off earlier, but they are all gone around here. I mean, all gone. Ryan Patterson, what's happening, man? I went to TKO. Cody Webb, Billy Bolt was there. It was awesome talking to them. Right on, Lucas Monks. I bet that was awesome. I love hard enduro races because the pros, the famous guys are standing right next to you, hanging out in the pits. It's not like separate and stuff. I love that about hard enduro. It's a way more grassroots thing. It's growing and getting bigger and less like that, I think, but hopefully it'll keep its roots and be rad. All right, guys, it is 8:13. I got a boogie. This has been fun. I hope you guys had as much fun as I did. I've been having a blast. A ton of you are watching, way more than normal. Yeah, this is awesome. Thank you guys so much for sticking around. Punk Rock Club, you know that I love you more than everyone else. Guys, I really, you bet, Chris. I really, really, really hope you get out and spread the gospel of two wheels. I really, really hope that God blesses you today. And I desperately hope that what we're doing here at Highland Cycles is inspiring you guys to not only work on your motorcycles, but get out and ride your dirt bikes!